Yeah, just give me all of the respect. I use your reverence as a reward. They know that I got the power and they looking at me like the source. Take my throne, boy, stop that. I'm on my hill, can't top that. You take this L, yeah, rock that. You know, I never needed a cosign. Yeah, I'm gon' shine. I rock independent. Representing like I work for the Senate. You double LC, you ain't got no business. Come in the
What it do, Yankees universe? What it do, what it do, what it do? KOD Nation, stand up. And all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to the new year. It's 2023. Yankees Morning Brew this Tuesday, January 3rd at 11:01 a.m. You know, if I'm going to start the new year, I got to start the new year right. I had to make this phone call. I had to, and boom, 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 put out the bat signal. The NYY News TV signal was in the sky, and my man Pete Simonetti answered the call. Petey, what it do, baby?
Yeah, and you said it wrong too, Heck. It's 2023.
Oh, 2023. Right? My
2023 we here, all right? It's a different year than the three, okay?
If you guys ever saw that movie, Your Road Trip, me excuse it. But Pete, my man, what's good, brother? Happy New Year's, Papa.
Happy New Year, my man. Happy New Year, chat. Hope everybody's doing well. Man, I tell you what, man, the last week before with Christmas and it's hectic for everybody. Fam, I tell you what, creating all the new graphics and all the new intros and all that stuff for NYY News TV, man, it knocked me out. That coffee didn't even affect me this morning. It's like, nah, you good, fam. Take it easy. It's a brick for you. Bah!
Your body is so used to it, bro. That's what it is. Your body is just so used to it. You need some more.
I've built up like this immunity to it. It's like it does nothing for me anymore.
You definitely did. You are patient zero when it comes to the coffee not working. But shout out to the chat. Let me give a quick shout out. I got, Tyler Tabbitt is in the building. My man Tyler's in the building. Mr. Fritz Walter, I see you in the building. I got a new person in the chat. Don't want to butcher the name, so I'm just calling you Gupta. My man Gupta's in the chat. Goop, what it do, baby? Mikey Miles and the 4 Train Express. I see you. And of course, my man Anthony Medina. Hey, yo, Anthony, what it do? Mr. Johnny Almonte is in the building. Frankie Baseball, I see you. But yeah, new year, as they say, new year, new us, right? 2023, a lot of good things is on the rise. This partnership that we got with NYY News TV, it's amazing. I can't wait, honestly, for game season live to start, because you have the #1 Yankee watch along show. And on top of that, I can't wait till we finally have a Yankee in live NYY News event. Like, I can't wait to meet the entire team.
Oh
I can't wait to meet the fans, bro. Honestly,
me too. I'm excited about a lot. You brought up game season. I'm like itching for game season to return. And Hector, you gonna be calling the game this year? You and Jigga Man might be getting on a game or a couple of games this year.
Yeah. But, I put it in. I make sure I show up because game season live, calling the games. No one could do it like UP, but I definitely try to live up to the praises.
It's fun, man. I'm literally like, I'm begging for it to get here. I mean, I was looking at my calendar. I have my whole agenda planned down. Like, all right, game season live's here. Good thing is we get to start a little bit in January and all that. So that's always fun. And not January. My God, where am I going? March with the WBC. We're going to start doing that. So it's exciting times. And like I said, for game season, we got a brand new logo that I'm going to unveil very, very soon. Got an intro already done. I put out feedback to my team all the time. Like, guys, what do we change here? And they're like, nah, the theme song needs to stay the same. Everybody liked it. Keep all that the same. So that stuff stayed the same. Got a couple of new little picture images in there, but the logo's fire this year, man. Wait till I put that out. I can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait, bro. Because one, you're killing it with the intros, right? You're killing it with the intros, with the logos. The new designated spitter intro with you and Derek. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, if that right there is any cookie crumbs to what the new game season live is going to be, I can't wait for that. But before we continue, I know this is a baseball show, Yankees Morning Brew, Pete Simonetti, NYY News TV, but I just want everybody in the chat, if you guys could just take 2 seconds, give your thoughts and prayers to the NFL player Damar Hamlin. Yesterday, it was a very scary event on national TV. On top of that, to see that on TV, just if you guys could just give your thoughts and prayers. And for the players that are on the field, I understand these are $1 million athletes. I get that, but they're still human beings at the end of the day. So whether you were on the opposing team or on the team of the Bills, thoughts and prayers to everybody that goes out there and to Damar Hamlin and to his family as well.
Yep, I agree 100%.
But Pete, bro, let's start this conversation, because while we was backstage, you brought up a very interesting convo when it talked about Spencer Jones. So can you let the people know about what's the new news with Spencer Jones before we continue?
Yeah, of course, man. Baseball Prospectus. And it's funny, if you listen to my interview with our prospect guy, Dane Huber, Dane said it flat out. He was like, he would rank Spencer Jones very high up. And he made a prediction. He's like, I think some of these bigger prospect sites are going to rank him pretty high. Baseball Prospectus got Spencer Jones ranked ahead of Jason Dominguez now. He's the number 3 Yankee prospect. And there's a lot of people that feel that way because his overall hit tool and then his speed for his size. Everybody expects him to stay as a center field. He's 6'7", Aaron Judge's size. Great hand-eye coordination, unbelievable, to the point of where when Spencer Jones got drafted, the Yankees didn't change a thing on him. They just said, go play baseball.
Yeah.
And he bet 330 in one league, 330 something in the next level. So he's a guy that everybody really needs to keep an eye on because he is a college product. So he's going to go through the system very, very quickly. And if the hype on this kid is real, don't be shocked if you see him climb extremely fast. But it seems like all the other prospect heads are now on him. And of course, he's going to be up there in the top 100 prospects also.
When Spencer Jones got drafted, a lot of people were praising the Yankees because saying that this was the steal of the draft with Spencer Jones, because he missed the whole year because he got Tommy John. A lot of the scouts, a lot of like the experts on like MLB Network, they all said that if Spencer Jones didn't have Tommy John and didn't miss that year, he would have been a top 5 prospect. He would have been
100%.
100%. But the fact that he missed the entire season because of that Tommy John being a two-way player, he just fell right into the Yankees' lap. And this is what you got to do when you're at the bottom of the draft, like the Yankees is year in and year out, pick 25 and below. You got to be able to find these gems and these little thieves that are in the draft. And Spencer Jones is the perfect one going forward.
Facts. No, he's an absolute beast. And he got to remember too, he played a lot of last year, still recovering. So, he usually, what they say about like Tommy John is it takes sometimes 2 years to really get yourself there. And Spencer Jones, I honestly, I know people are going to be like, really? Like, this is the most exciting prospect in the Yankee system, in my belief. Because, first of all, you don't see a lot of 6'7" guys. Nope. And one, you don't see a lot of 6'7" guys doing what Spencer Jones is already doing. And I know it's you could say small sample size. Well, he got thrown into the Wolves immediately. Yeah. And he's an absolute animal. And those are the things to look forward to. But then you look at what the scouts are saying to him, advanced scouts, and they're just telling everybody the Aaron Judge comparison is really only there because of his size. But he has power. But the crazy thing about Spencer Jones, he's already complete at this age. So Aaron Judge was still, he's going to be a big strikeout home run guy. Is what the thought was. And he turned himself into maybe the best player in the world. Spencer Jones already right now, people are talking about he's already an all-around ball player. He's going to hit for average. He's going to hit for power. He's going to do all that. And he got great speed. Fast. So he's a guy that I'm telling you, Yankee fans, be excited about. I know you hear the hype about Dominguez, and ain't nothing wrong with Dominguez. Dominguez is an animal. Dominguez struggled a lot last year, but then in Double-A really turned it on. Turned the season around a lot. But Spencer Jones is a guy that you want to keep your eyes on, no doubt about it.
When you look at Spencer Jones, a lot of the Yankees in the minor league system, when it comes to their coaches with development and stuff, I understand this. They're going to say this for the player because he's in the organization. But a lot of people said that Spencer Jones being drafted at the position he was drafted at that age was more advanced than Aaron Judge when Aaron Judge first got drafted when it comes to his bat. So as a hitter, he is a way better hitter than Aaron Judge was at this stage of their career when you put both of them together. And on top of it, what he had like 350 and low A ball.
He tore it up to
killed
and the crazy thing is a lot of times when you draft these guys, the Yankees would come in, and if they've noticed things early, they'll implement it pretty early. You know, whether it's your hands are a little too high, bring those down, turn the hips a little bit, whatever it might be, they adjust it. Spencer Jones, they said, go play baseball. And the dude just lit it up. And you hear such high remarks overall when it comes to, like I said, his defense. Everybody believes he's going to stick in center field. It's not one of those guys where it's like, all right, he's 6'7", probably going to end up in left or right. They believe he'll stick in center field more than the Dominguez will, because Dominguez is just, he's like a little tank. So as he gets older, you feel like the corner is probably more likely for him. So again, a guy like Jones, man, beware and look out this year. Keep him on your radar. Put it that way.
Yeah. 100%.
Look at that box score every night.
Dominguez is more of a pit, like a boxer. You know, he's big here, but tiny arms and stuff. That's exactly what Dominguez is. But when it comes to these prospects, and a lot of people, a lot of Yankee fans, they're like, let's not prospect hug. And I get that. You want to bring in a superstar to help your team at the moment. But you got to understand, as much as you guys are upset at Brian Cashman for not going out and making that big move, when it comes to this next group of prospects that we have, this is what Brian Cashman is banking his legacy on. If he hits with these prospects, when it comes to Dominguez, when it comes to Volpe, now with Spencer Jones, if these prospect hits, Brian Cashman will go down as a genius in all of baseball history because of what he did with the Yankees in the 90s, the early 2000s, and waiting on the prospects to come up. That way the Yankees just don't have to spend just to spend.
Yeah, no doubt. Brian Cashman, like you said, he's banking on this to be the next great core of young players. He thought he had it. He thought he had it, when it came to guys like Gary Sanchez, and Sanchez just completely flamed out to the point of now, who the hell knows where he even signs? There's been rumors of Boston and a few other clubs, but Gary Sanchez, whoever would have thought a couple of years ago that Gary Sanchez would be lingering on the free agent market, and it's January and nobody cares about him. Even if he signed as a player, most people are looking at it, be like, all right, yeah, whatever. We got to catch her. Maybe it's 15 homers. It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous, bro. But at the same time, it's just what life is, right? Sometimes everything could be going your way, and then a curveball comes, and boom, this game is not easy. So anything can happen. You got to always have the mentality of you cannot just settle. Right. And I think with Gary Sanchez, he got that early success, especially when he was first brought up that first year. And then his second year being in the home run derby with Judge, he just got complacent with his success. Back in 2016-17, I was working EMS, and I had the privilege to be working with Gary Sanchez's actual cousin. His first cousin was my partner. We worked for years and stuff. But nowadays, if she hits me up, I'll be like, new phone, who's this? Because I don't know who you are because of what happened with Gary Sanchez. But no, when it comes to Sanchez, I can see him either signing with either the Colorado Rockies or the Boston Red Sox because of the numbers that he put up in Boston.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes sense. And look, the funny thing is about Yankee prospects is I'm just the type, I always want to see them do good, Same. I beat up Gary Sanchez a lot, but let me tell you why I did it. I did it because, look, we're Yankee fans. And we expected so much more. And I believe that a lot of I truly believe this. I think a lot of Gary Sanchez's downfall is on Gary Sanchez. Yeah. I truly believe that. And you can't sit there and go, the talent wasn't what we thought. No. There's no way. The talent was 100% what we thought it was. I think at the end of the day, talent only goes as far as you want it to go. As far as you push yourself, that's where that talent goes to. So you're right. Going back to the original topic on Brian Cashman, he is truly banking on these young guys coming up and doing it because, look, we're not the world, the Yankee world, the baseball world is not going to look back kindly on Brian Cashman if Volpe isn't good, if Peraza isn't good, if Dominguez flares out. If these guys are not who we have been promised, it is not going to look good on Brian Cashman. And honestly, it's going to ruin his legacy. Yeah, he got the dynasty, but a lot of people credit Bob Watson and Stick Michael for that. So it's going to be very, very difficult for Brian Cashman to sit there and say, by the time I'm done, I banked on these guys and it didn't work out. He's going to have to bite that bullet for once it goes, it was me. It was me.
Yeah, 100%. And it sucks to put all this pressure on these young kids, right? When it comes to the age that they're in, but it's right. When it comes to Volpe, if Volpe comes up to the major leagues and he turns into Steven Drew, the fans are going to be calling for Brian Cashman's head. Right. The same thing with Jason Dominguez. If he comes up and he turns into be not Starling Marte, but he turns into be Juan Rivera and he doesn't turn to be a superstar, fans are going to be calling for Brian Cashman's neck.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Cashman has to understand, as long as you keep us in the loop when it comes to letting us know what direction you're going to, we're going to follow you. We're going to support this team, especially with these young kids. If these young kids come up, I know a lot of people say, oh, well, if Volpe comes up and he goes 0 for 30, you can't boo him. I don't think if Volpe comes up and he goes 0 for 30, because he's been in our system, the fans will support him and will back him. Now, if it was a situation like IKF coming from outside of the system and then coming into the Yankee system and messing up, then the fans are going to boo.
Correct.
Right? Because you aren't homegrown. As long as you're homegrown, the fans will support you, will cheer you, and back you, even if you mess up. The fact that Hicks is getting booed is because he isn't homegrown and fans are just tired of his nonsense.
Right. It takes a lot for Yankee fans to boo the guys that came through the system. The reason you heard boos for Aaron Judge in the postseason was because he did it all year.
Yeah.
So when he doesn't do it then, and it's just not coming through at all, and the rest of the team not doing it, and I put it like this: if the Yankees were winning and the rest of the team was doing it, they would never. No, Aaron Judge would never got booed. It would have just been all right. Judge didn't perform. He'll hit a big homer at some point. We know it. It'll come. But he's just not performing right now. But the thing is overall for the Yankees and Brian Cashman is, it unfortunately for them, it just has to work because as of now, I mean, it's going to be very hard. And I know this might sound a bit crazy, but it's going to be very hard for Anthony Volpe to live up to the expectations that people have set on him.
Yeah.
And that the Yankees have set on him. I always go back to when I originally said this. I was so happy that a couple of days later, David Cohn said the same thing. And I was like, oh, good, because, it's not, you understand what I'm saying. And you got a bigger audience than what I'm getting. So you put it out there too, when he basically said, the Yankees are putting the pressure on Volpe. It's not Volpe doing it. It's the Yankees putting pressure on him by not going out there and adding another superstar in that infield that can really help bring him in up, ease him in there. It's basically, when you're here, you better be Correa. When you're here, you better be Corey Seager. Because if you're not, then why did we pass on these guys for? If you're a 250 hitter with 20 homers, most people would say for a young guy getting paid nothing, that's fantastic production. The Yankee fans are going to look at it right now and be like, that's not what we were promised.
Yeah.
We may not beat him up and be upset about it compared to Volpe, but Brian Cashman promised us something different. That's the thing we're upset about.
It's early season struggles is early season struggles. But like you said, if he winds up hitting 240, 250 with almost 20 home runs on any other major league team, that would be a successful year.
Right.
But with the Yankees, the expectations that are being put on these young players, they're literally talking about when Volpe comes up, they're going to put number 11 on him. Right. When Judge came up,
number and all that. Yeah.
When Judge came up, he's been number 99 since he came up. There wasn't that much pressure on Aaron Judge when he first came up because Gary Sanchez was ranked higher than him. Tyler Wells was ranked higher than Aaron Judge. So there was not that much pressure on Aaron Judge when he first came up. So that rookie year in 2018, those 50 home runs, that literally came out of nowhere because nobody was expecting Aaron Judge to even put up half of what he put up.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the game of prospects, isn't it? When you're the top dog, I'm sorry, the eyes are on you. And the Yankees elevated that when it comes to Volpe. They've elevated it. They've elevated even more. And I've spoken to his father quite a bit, Michael Volpe. We talk often. He puts things in comments and all that. And I remember one time I was talking about, he sent me all these links and things like that of Anthony played on, big stages and all that. And I had to explain to him that even he didn't understand what I was saying. It wasn't about pressure on your son. It wasn't on pressure on Anthony. Again, it's pressure that the Yankees have put on him, that he has to become something, and maybe not even himself. Because, you look at Anthony Volpe's numbers, and yeah, they're impressive in the minor leagues. But let me tell you right now, I hear Yankee fans already saying, well, hey, he's the next Derek Jeter. He's going to hit 3. Derek Jeter was a 340-plus hitter, 320, 319, 327. Anthony Volpe has never hit over 300. He doesn't do it. And can he do it at the major league level? Maybe. But it's not necessarily his game. We haven't seen him hit a 330 in a level in the minor year leagues, a 340. And again, it's not saying that he can't do that. It's the realistic expectation of what you may get from him. I fear and I worry that fans are going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
And it's going to leave a sour taste in people's mouth because, again, I don't put these expectations on young players. My idea, like, let's say, for an example, next year, Peraza starts as the shortstop, let's just say.
Yeah.
I just want him to be better than IKF.
Same.
So I don't care, oh, well, I expected a 290 hitter with 20 homers, 50 stolen bases. No, I want him to be better than IKF. I want him to field the ball, make the good plays, make the easy plays. I want him to put the ball in play, steal some bases, go first to third, first to home. That's it, and I'm happy. That's all I care about.
When 100% couldn't say it better. When it comes to Volpe and his numbers, a lot of people, they pointed out to his stolen bases, which was phenomenal. He had 50 stolen bases or something like that, which is awesome. But at the same time, they changed the bags in the minor leagues last year. You know, they're going to do that in the major leagues this year, but you guys have to put that context is big, right? The rules that are happening to the major league that's going to happen next year to the major leagues were implemented last year. So yes, he got the 50 stolen bases, but at the same time, the bags were shortened. You got to put the context into context. Like Derek Jeter wasn't known for stealing bases, but whenever he needed to steal a base, he stole a base, right? So stop comparing a young kid like Anthony Volpe to Derek Jeter because the profiles are totally different. Anthony Volpe is a home run. No, Anthony Volpe is a home run hitter. Derek Jeter, the most home runs he probably hit in his career was 20-something, if that, but normally 10 to 15 home runs, right? He's not a home run hitter, but Volpe is a home run hitter. You have to keep your expectations to what they are. And like Pete said, as long as Volpe comes in and he shows you that he could be competent at shortstop, right? He shows you that he could be better than what we got last year from IKF, because what we got from IKF last year was horrible. And all the excuses was Gleyber, he was better than what Gleyber Torres the year before was. And I talked to Pete Simonetti a bunch of times joking, like, listen, you could put me in boots on the beach and I would have been better than Gleyber Torres at shortstop. That's not saying much, my man. But as long as Volpe can come up and he can show that the pressure is not too much for him, the bright lights aren't too bright for him, and he's just a little bit better than IKF, I'll take that and I'll write it as a successful season for me.
Me too. Me too. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, he's also not going to be getting paid much. You know, these guys come up and, you know, for the salary that they'll be getting, it's nothing compared to the other superstars. So you got to hope that they do have better production. And, you know, I'm actually somebody who brings this up a lot. I always talk about AA. If you conquer AA, you should be able to go to the major leagues from there. And that's not just a me belief. That's a belief among most advanced scouts. Now, the reason a lot of these guys like to send their players to AAA is because there's a little more, it's a little more of the major league type game over in AAA. Now you do got your journeymen that just don't have it no more. They're just getting innings in AAA and whatnot. But you do see a little more finer tuned game, the overall talent level that you see in AA. But in AAA, you know, people tend to look over this point. Volpe had almost 100 at-bats in AAA, 89 at-bats to be exact, struck out 30 times, had a 236 average, 313 on-base percentage. You know, these are not cute numbers compared to what he did in AA. So the Yankees would have every right to go, hey, look, we want to see you perform in AAA first before we give you a shot. Now, I've also been told that he is going to get a shot to win the job in spring training. We'll see if Peraza's move. We'll see if they do anything like that via trade. But Volpe, you know, all I keep saying to everybody is pull the brakes back a little bit. Let the kid play. Let him be who he's going to be. And we'll go from there. And that's it. You just hear a lot of crazy type of expectations for these guys. And even with Dominguez, Mike Trout, I'm like, come on, guys.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. What are we doing? Let's hope the guy is a good major league player. That's why I hate comps. I'm not a fan of comps. Never have been.
Neither have I. Yeah.
You know, Dane Huber, who is on our network here, does our
fantastic job
stuff.
also.
He always has a very good comp for Anthony Volpe, and he always says Alex Bregman. And if Anthony Volpe's Alex Bregman, I'm doing cartwheels around the stadium.
I'm taking that. Yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? I'm doing cartwheels around the stadium. If he's a fielder like Bregman, if he's an overall player like Bregman, sign me up.
Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Sign me up for 7 days out the week. Sign me up.
And there'll be fans that are upset about that, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean Bregman? Yeah.
Why Bregman? That's it.
Listen, if Volpe could be an all-star a couple of years in his career, I'll take that. Especially if you look at the Yankees minor league system over these past 20 years, and I always bring this back up. You guys want Anthony Volpe is not going to be Andy Phillips. Let's throw that out there. He's not going to be Andy Phillips, right?
Come on,
Jason Dominguez is not going to be Melky Cabrera. Let's just throw it out there. But at the same time, just let the kids be the kids. Lower your expectations and just let them be who they are. Because guarantee when Derek Jeter was coming up, nobody was comparing Derek Jeter to Don Mattingly. Same with the rest of the core five, the Fab Five.
The thing is too. Prospects now are like gold. I mean, you know
Rob,
what I mean?
What it do, baby?
What's going on, Rob fam? Prospects are like gold now. There's so much coverage on prospects. You go watch games. I remember years ago, you don't watch minor league games. Who the hell was watching minor league games? You didn't see that.
None of us, yeah.
You know what I mean? You never saw that.
You got the commercial of the Brooklyn Cyclones on TV, but that's about it.
You didn't really, you never saw full games of minor league players. Hey, this guy's coming up. Let's watch him. Nobody cared. Everybody cared about the major league roster. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But, now that there is this stardom already for these guys coming up, and it's weird. It's kind of strange. It's like these guys are already stars in a way. It's like Volpe comes up and it's like, all right, hey, man, you already got a platform. Like, we just need you to run with it and go for it. So it'll be interesting to see how everything turns out this year, but I'm pretty sure I don't think we'll be getting IKF back at short this year.
No, I'm pretty sure. I think Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner can read the tea leaves and read the room and how fans feel when it comes to IKF. I don't think IKF will be back as an everyday shortstop. Now, would they retain him to be like a Marwin Gonzalez infielder, put him whatever, plug him wherever? Maybe he has Marwin Gonzalez role now that he's back in Japan. But honestly, I don't think Brian Cashman is that stupid to go another season with IKF at shortstop. But you never know.
He's actually
it's not that common.
The crazy thing is he's actually a really good trade candidate if you really think about it. I mean, here's a guy who hit 270 something last year, does put the ball in play. He may not hit the ball hard, but he puts the ball in play. And if you got to believe and that's the weird thing. This is what I was talking about on NYYST last night. It's just so weird that Brian Cashman hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question, because I remember last week you put the video out when it comes to Brian Cashman waiting to make a move, being that he always make a move. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just to summarize that video, basically I'm talking about Brian Cashman's ego. It's a known thing around Major League Baseball that Brian Cashman has an ego. And the thing is, when you look at this offseason, I know people could sit there and go, yeah, he's the GM, so he got something to do with it. Well, let's think about how the fans think about it, and let's think about how the newspapers think about it. I haven't seen Brian Cashman get no flowers. Nope. I've only seen Hal Steinbrenner get them. Because at the end of the day, Aaron Judge has come out and basically flat out said, this was the go guy. He's the one who finished it. He finished the deal for me. Carlos Rodon even said Hal Steinbrenner. You know what I mean? None of them specifically said, thanks to Brian, we had these meetings. They were great. They were this, they were that. He pushed hard. Nobody really said that. Jacob Patrussi.
What it do, baby? I appreciate you for pronouncing his last name, because I've been trying to figure it out how to pronounce Jacob's last name for like the past 2 weeks. I put his last name in Google Translate and still haven't figured out it. But thank you, Patrussi. I just figured it out. Jacob, my man, Patrussi. What it do, Jacob? Salute.
But man, I still feel like Brian Cashman has not left his mark, man. He hasn't left his mark in this offseason, and I mean, I honestly don't know what he's waiting for, man. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Are they working on something very, very big? I don't know. You hear little rumors out there, but nothing is set in stone. Even that I can report on and say, they are where I don't know. I don't know.
You're not excited about Willie Calhoun, my guy?
Oh, Willie Calhoun, Slick Willie Calhoun. Hell yeah, man! I'm super excited to see him out there. Funny thing is about a guy like Willie Calhoun, though, is if he could finally stay healthy, I noticed people are like, oh God, here we go. No, but he's always been a good talent. He's just never able to stay on the field long enough, and I don't expect it to happen now.
Yeah.
But maybe they're getting some of these outfielders because they feel like, all right, well, maybe we could move Aaron Hicks. But my thing is, we keep saying could. It's January 3rd. You know what I mean? It's 2023. We're right here. So I'm like, it's spring training is a couple of weeks away. What are we doing?
Pitches and catches report February 15th. And that's literally right around the corner. That's literally
right here.
30-something days away. Literally right around the corner.
So, I don't know.
Pause real quick on that,
Of course.
because I want to talk to you about spring training when we come
Yeah.
back. But guys, Knights of Degen, we got a little scavenger hunt going on, right? And if I don't play this video, Jigga Man's gonna pop up and yank me from here. I'm gonna get yanked from the screen, right? If I don't play this. But guys, enjoy this, and we'll be right back. If you're here for that treasure hunt, make sure you tune in.
Hey, fellas, how you doing? What up, Hector? What's up, bro? You good? That's good, bro. Hey, Mr. Simonetti, how you doing? Hey, you give me one of those. Hey, hey. Can you do one of those? Hey, check this out. I'm supposed to tell you guys, scavenger hunt. The clue today is snap.
There you go. So the clue for the scavenger hunt is snap. And just so you guys know, that little face that you guys see with Jigga Man Portal, that little Knight 3D Knight, he FaceTimes me at least 3 times a week with that face on, right? Sometimes it scares me when I wake up right out of a nap, but yeah, he FaceTimes me at least 3 times a week with that face on. But going into spring training, my guy, with what we got right now, do you think that these moves, when it comes to just adding like a Willie Calhoun and other little minor pieces in the minor leagues, you think this is more to add to our depth? That way we could just move pieces in and out to see who can fit until these young prospects come up. We talked about Spencer Jones. We talked about Jason Dominguez. Everson Pereira is on the rise.
Yep.
You think Brian Cashman not wanting to commit 5 years to Andrew Benintendi or 5 years to Masataka Yoshida, it's because he's waiting for these young kids to come up? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's possible. I think it's possible. I think also too, sometimes we see these things and we read too much into them. It could also just be, minor league depth, to be honest with you, for AAA. A guy like Willie Calhoun, if he could prove that he's healthy in AAA, I mean, there's another guy that could eventually become a trade piece even. There's so many ways you could use these guys and move guys around and make them work in your system, but who knows? I mean, then there's also the possibility that maybe they just say, hey, whoever plays well enough in left field, you got the job. You know what I mean? We got a couple of lefty guys. They're all lefties. If you see Calhoun, bats lefty. Billy McKinney, bats lefty. Yankees already had him in the system. These are all left-handed batters. So I don't know, how to necessarily read it, because I will say this. I think Brian Cashman is the hardest GM to read. I mean, there's a lot of times where he'll come out there and just say something like, yeah, you might want to believe him. But then they'll say things like, hey, Bubba Crosby's our center fielder. And you're like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
No, he's not. And he kind of said that too this season about, is he right about Donaldson this time? Josh Donaldson's our third baseman. Is he right about, a lot of these things that he said so far? But we'll see. I just can't comprehend the fact that we haven't had a couple of trades already. I can't comprehend that Aaron Hicks is still on this ball club. I just can't comprehend it.
It seems like something is in the weeds, that something something is being worked on in the back room. Something. I wish I could be a fly on the wall, someplace, bro. Because Brian Cashman, like you said, when it comes to his ego, he signed that contract extension, right? He was involved with talks, but it was ultimately Howard Steinbrenner who sealed the deal.
Correct.
Brian Cashman going into this season does not want to be the butt of the joke when it comes to Yankee fans and their perception of him, right?
Yep.
So when it comes to Brian Cashman, I really feel there's a move someplace, somewhere that he is going to make. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of move. Would it be for another reliever? Will it be for a left fielder? Will it be flipping Hicks and Donaldson both together? That I don't know. But what I do know is something is going to happen, right? Right before spring training, nobody expected a Jose Trevino trade right before spring training. Boom, we got Jose Trevino. He wound up being an all-star for us. So any little minor move, whatever move is coming, I really feel something is on the rise.
Yeah, I feel like it is too. I mean, and here's the thing, man, it would be such a letdown for the offseason. It just would be. And I know people want, oh, that's spoiled. Well, look, let's break it down pretty easily here. Last offseason, many of us looked at the Yankees team and said, what are they doing? This is not a championship caliber team. They're in there talking to spring training, a championship caliber team. Everybody's looking around saying, where are they? What team are you talking about? You just made maybe the worst trade. We were saying it, a lot of people, and I'm going to give credit to a lot of people because a lot of people thought this too. When the Donaldson deal happened and we all sat back and said, this is the worst trade I've ever seen. I don't need to see anymore. I don't need to wait till this is going to be a disaster. It was a disaster. Brian Cash is out there talking about the guy's an MVP candidate and this and that, the greatest player at third base in the world. Gio Urshela goes out there and has a better year. Manny Machado's at shortstop for the team we traded for. They got the best left side of the infield, and we got garbage. They gave us our garbage and said, go ahead, take it. And look how that turned out. So my thing is with this team right now, you look at it on paper, and you could go, all right, let's break it up in offense and break it up in overall pitching. Overall pitching, they are a World Series caliber team. There's no denying that. I'm talking about overall pitching, bullpen, and rotation. There's no doubt on paper that you can sit there and tell your fan base, we might have the best, if not top 3, in all of pitching in Major League Baseball. And I think the majority of us will sit there and go, yeah, you're right. I agree with that. But now you look at the offense and you go, okay, I'll give it to you that we've probably slightly improved because we know Peraza is probably going to be in that infield. We can make the assumption that maybe DJ LeMahieu is healthy and maybe he becomes the third baseman. I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Same.
If you look at that and you go, okay, but you know what? They fooled us too many times and I'm not comfortable with it. We need somebody else up top. I don't care if it's McCarthy, who I would love batting ahead of Judge, but then again, knowing the Yankees, they probably get him and bat him 9th. That's how the Yankees, or 8th. That's kind of how the Yankees do that thing. But you got to, what are we doing with all these prospects? And again, that's not a knock on when you trade these guys, but don't at some point you got to say to yourself, look, all 5 of these guys aren't going to work. And even if they didn't work, we don't have the room for them. Where are they going to play? Where are all these guys going to fit? So at what point do you say, these guys are all very hot right now. We got to decide who we want to keep. And we got to decide on who we move. And how do we make this club a real legitimate World Series contender? Well, you go out there and trade some of these guys. You do a deal that hurts. That's how it works. And Brian Cashman just seems very unwilling or very scared to put some of these guys on the line and make a major move.
If you're Brian Cashman, this is how you're thinking. You spend the big money on Judge, Rodon. You got Garrett Cole locked up for some years. Yes, I understand Giancarlo Stanton in his contract. I understand that. With the way that major league players, especially when you first come up and the team has control for you for your first 6 years, that's what they're banking on. We got Judge for the next 9 years. We got Rodon for the next 6 years. If Volpe comes up, Peraza, whatever. But if Volpe comes up this year, Peraza's up. Peraza's in control for the next 5.5, maybe 6 seasons. Right? Same thing with Volpe. Volpe will be in control for the next 6 to 7 seasons, depending on when they bring him up. So why you have the big money invested into Judge, into Rodon, into Garrett Cole, into Giancarlo Stanton, you got to make sure that these young kids hit. That way you could sprinkle them around the big money. You got to be able to use your big money where you need to use it in areas where you need to use it to improve the team. But at the same time, you have to have that young group come up so you could sprinkle around 1 million here, 700,000 here, 3 million here. You got to be able to balance it out.
Yeah, it's all about allocating. And that's exactly what I spoke about. I spoke about that a lot when we were talking about who else do the Yankees go out there and sign. And there's not really any more free agents out there. I mean, the only one that could make sense for the Yankees is Jurickson Profar, who Brian Cashman has been obsessed with for a long time. So that wouldn't shock me. And here's a point I want to make to everybody, because trust me, people probably hear, they're like, Pete saying that? Pete, of all people? I got to keep it real with everybody, because look, I don't even want to make myself feel like, well, I'm kind of being a hypocrite on this too. Yes, I want the big name. Yes, I want the big star. But what has the offense needed that we've been begging for a long time? It's contact, right? It's guys that put the ball in play. Well, look, I completely understand that Profar is not a sexy name. I completely understand that Max Kepler is not a sexy name. I get all that. I understand it. I can see people saying, nah, Pete, that ain't it. But I get it. But here's the thing you got to remember. If we've asked to get more contact in the lineup, you can't be mad when they get guys who do that. You may not think they're the sexiest name. They may not be a superstar, but they don't strike out. Profar, I think, struck out 16% of his at-bats last year. I know for a fact Kepler struck out less than 16% of his. That's elite level. Those are elite level. Anything under 20 is nice. If you're under 17, 16, you put the ball in play. It's that simple. You don't K a lot.
Yeah.
And, we can't sit there and say, well, what do we really want? We want the superstar. Yeah, I get it. I do too. But I can't sit here and knock and trash on that move. Is it the move I would do? Probably not. But if the Yankees did go that route, at least I can say, well, look, the difference from last year and this year is they've gotten more speed, they've gotten better defensively, and they don't strike out as much.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things that we've wanted, right? They've done it. So if that is the case, because we don't know yet, because here's the other thing too, Hector, maybe you'll agree with me on this. I feel like Kepler wouldn't cost much. Then why is he not a Yankee yet then?
No.
If they're not working on something else, why is Kepler not a Yankee? He's not going to be back. They just got 2 more outfielders, the Twins. He's not coming back. It's obviously they're going to move him. Why is he not a Yankee for?
Yeah, same thing with Jefferson Profar, right? Jefferson Profar, like you said, Brian Cashman wanted Profar over getting Didi Gregorius, right?
Yep.
He's always wanted Jefferson Profar, and Profar is one of those players that he doesn't just stick in one position. You can move him around. He could play left field, he could play right field, he could play third base, he could play second base, as a shortstop where he has a problem at. So you can move him around. Put him at the leadoff spot in front of Aaron Judge, just seeing fastballs all the time. Jefferson Profar is going to eat. The issue with in San Diego is just that ballpark is so big, you can hardly get home runs out of there. Check this out. Also, a fun fact for people. Ever since Barry Bonds retired, the San Francisco Giants hasn't had a player hit over 30 home runs for a season.
Yeah.
You got to put that in perspective. Like, since Barry Bonds retired, the Giants has yet to have one player hit over 30 home runs. And I think that's a big reason Aaron Judge didn't sign with the Giants, because of that ballpark and how much it will affect his home run numbers.
Yep. No, 100%. And that's the reason why they wanted Aaron Judge so bad. You know what I mean? Because they haven't had that in a long time. They haven't had a guy who, like you said, hits homers. They haven't had that big slugging superstar. And they've had it for most of their creation. You go back and there's been many Giants that hit for power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why they push so hard for Aaron Judge.
And on top of it, when it comes to this Yankee lineup, we have to have more of a switch around. We can't just be right-handed heavy, right? The
Correct.
Yankees, with all their championships that they won, 27 champions, all their championships that they won, they have not won a championship with only one left-handed batter in that lineup.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. With all these championships that the Yankees have had, they have yet to win one championship with only one left-handed batter in the lineup.
Yep. Correct. No, you need that. It means a lot. And got to remember too, with the rule change this year, you got to take those things into account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take those things into account, especially for a lot of left-handed batters. Now, do I think it makes Aaron Hicks into an all-star? No, of course not. It's not going to make him into an all-star. Do I think it makes a guy like Kepler, who puts the ball in play, get a 20 more hits a year? Maybe. Maybe. And another thing you got to remember too, the stolen base game is going to be legit this year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, pitchers can only pick off attempt twice. That's insane. That means you get the biggest lead you want after 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. If you really think about it, it kind of, I got to see how this thing plays out and works, but it's kind of crazy.
The bases are also being enlarged by
bases are a little larger,
2 inches extra on each round, so 2. So the stolen bases numbers are going to go up. You know, those bang plays at first base, they're going to be a lot more bang plays at first base. It's
so a lefty adds up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Having that lefty closer to the bag already, that adds up. Having the shift going, those things do add up. So I get it. I understand Yankee fans want the sexy move. I do too. Hector does too. We get that. I want the big move. I want there to be a surprising move that we go, damn, they did it. I can't believe it. Yep. And we go live for 2 hours screaming our lungs out before the season begins. Yep. Yeah, of course. We all want that. But I also can't sit here and go, all of us have been begging the Yankees to strike out less. If they go out there and get the cat that strikes out less, can't really complain about it too much. We could complain, of course. You got every right to complain. I'll complain still too. But you can't say it. It's not like they went out there and got a Joey Gallo.
No.
You know what I mean? Who's a 205 hit and he hits a homer every now and then, but he strikes out a shit ton.
They're not getting Gary Sanchez to put him in left field because he has a cannon for an arm. No.
Exactly. So that's my thing. I'm like, look, the superstars don't always guarantee. In baseball, basketball's a little different, right? A couple of superstars could say you weren't a playoff team, now you got a championship caliber team.
Yeah.
You know, in baseball, it's very difficult like that. You can't just sit there and go, we got this guy, that guy, we're going to win a World Series. Nah, you can still finish last. The Angels got Trout and Ohtani. They're a terrible team year after year.
The 2006 Yankees are the perfect example of about that. Kenny Rogers shut us out when we had Jeter, A-Rod, Matsui, Bobby Abreu, Gary Sheffield, Posada, G.I. all in the lineup.
That's right.
All in the lineup. And we still got shut out by Kenny Rogers and the green gut that he had on his wrist.
Yeah, facts. So no doubt about it.
Baseball it's a game of percentages. It's a game of chances. You know, you can't just write out your lineup card at the beginning of the season and say this is going to win a championship, because it never works out like that. This is not the NBA where you could just get LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, put them on a team and guarantee one championship. This is not how that's not how baseball works.
Nope.
There's been so many teams that tried that in the past and failed. San Diego did that a few years ago. You remember when San Diego had made all those trades? Justin Upton in left field, Will Myers in right field. They traded and got Matt Garza from Minnesota. So they made all these moves thinking that they were going to compete. They didn't even make the playoffs.
No, and it happens a lot. We see it all the time. You know, Major League Baseball, you see it all the time. Look, again, the sexy trade looks good on paper, but it has to play out. That's how baseball is. It has to play out. Some guys you don't expect much from, you get shocked by them. You know, they're much better than even you expected. So at the end of the day, the Yankees have to improve, and we just haven't seen anything done by Brian Cashman. So that, you know, when you look at the tea leaves and you kind of read it, you go, something has to be up out there. There's got to be something out there. There has to be. Because, again, Kepler's probably on a silver platter for most teams, saying, all right, you know, who wants him? At this point, who wants him? You know, maybe they
Domingo
still find
Herman
a spot
probably
for
him.
Probably something like that. Yeah, you could probably do something like that. So, you know, that's my whole thing. He's very pull heavy. You know, you open up that right side of the field, the shift being gone. And I get it. I can understand people hating the guy immediately before he even comes here. And I completely understand. Completely understand that. I completely get it. So if anybody's sitting here going, oh, Pete's just, you know, he's pushing for Max Kepler. No. All I'm simply saying is you got to understand, should we get somebody better than Kepler? Yes. Yes. But with the changes and everything that happened, and remember this, what I talked about a lot with Joey Gallo, when people would talk about, analytics do work, and I get them, but then you also got to factor in the lineup the person's going into. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
The Yankees need contact. If you add a guy with contact, you can't be too upset about that. Is he going to hit again? Does all of a sudden the shift make Kepler a 250, 265 hitter? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. But even if Kepler batted 240, 245, and he's able to pop a few more homers at Yankee Stadium, but he puts the ball in play and the on-base percentage is above 330, you can't sit there and go, this is a horrible move. Because for the Yankees lineup, not the player, forget the player, for how it fits the Yankees lineup, it's good. How many times last year, Hector, did we have men on third base, bases loaded, second and third, and they strike out because they can't put a ball in play?
I was gonna ask you the same question, bro.
How many runs did they lose?
How many times did Josh Donaldson strike out with a runner on third with just one less than one out?
Gleyber Torres first pitch pop-ups with men on base, immediately trying to attack, and he pops up. I mean, all the time it happens. But here's the other thing, too, and I want to bring this up. There's a Korean superstar who is going to be posted next year. Sung Ho Lee, I believe his name is. But he hits like 350 every year. He's a phenom in Korea. 24 years old. He's going to come to America at 25. They've already agreed to post him next year. So the Yankees are very, very big in the Asian market. They always have been. They scout all the time. They do many, many great things there. So they know these players. Another guy, too, to look out for at first base eventually, whether it's a year or two from now. Some people say it could be 3 years. It could be once Rizzo's done, is Murakami.
Oh, yeah.
The huge, big. And he actually just came out. I was like, I actually want to be on the West Coast, but I really like the New York Yankees. He just said it. Flat out said it. So, you know,
I got Murakami on my MLB franchise show. Like, I literally got him.
I would too. I mean, he's at the level of where the Yankees were when it came to like Daisuke Matsuzaka and when it came to Tanaka, where it was like the Yankees are prime. target to land this guy. No doubt about it. They're all over him. So he's one of those guys. Haven't heard the connection with the Korean player yet, but dude is apparently, from everybody I've spoke to too, he's like maybe the best player to ever come out of Korea. That's how good this kid is. He's a phenom, complete phenom. So you never know what they look to do, the Yanks.
Yeah. And then also, too, this is what I wanted to ask you, right? When it comes to, because everybody is stuck on the Brian Reynolds trade, right? Now, this is just my feeling. When it comes to Brian Reynolds, I don't think he's going to get traded in the offseason. I think he's going to be moved at the trade deadline, right?
Yep.
The Dodgers, everybody say the Dodgers because they have the pitching prospects that the Pirates want. I think the Dodgers are going to hold on to their prospects and use all of their prospects to trade for Shohei Ohtani. I think the Dodgers are going to go. The Dodgers are going to go all in for Shohei Ohtani. The reason why I think the Dodgers were attached to the Brian Reynolds conversation was to bring up the asking price from the Yankees, right? Because if no other teams are going after Brian Reynolds, that's just going to lower the asking price. And I honestly have this feeling that the Dodgers are going to use all their prospects to go in on Ohtani. One, Ohtani says he loves the West Coast, right? Artie Moreno was going to sell that team. The LA Dodgers, they do have the Dodgers and the Angels. They share the same TV company that does their TV deals, right? So it's really easy to transition that Shohei Ohtani TV deal over to the Dodgers. It won't be that many loops and hurdles, won't be that many lawyers involved to it or anything. So I could really see the Dodgers going all in for Shohei Ohtani at the trade deadline.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And here's the other thing too, I even brought this up, right? Is we know that the Dodgers do have elite pitching prospects. We know the Pirates want that. Yeah. What's the holdup? You know what I mean? That's my thing. And like a lot of this stuff, just you could really read the room a lot of times. Again, with a thing like Kepler, for an example, Kepler hasn't been moved. Why? Why would the Yankees not just sit back and go, "Hey guys, look, we have nothing else in the pipeline. Just bring him in."
Yeah.
What do our advanced scouts believe that? What would his numbers project to be with the shift being gone? What do we think? What is an honest opinion of who this player is with no shift? If that's the case and you sit there and go, we think he would much improve, he doesn't strike out things we like, why is Max Kepler not a Yankee already? And the Yankees are saying, all right, we're set, guys. Get everybody healthy. Maybe we try to move some salary. But other than that, we're set. We're ready to rock and roll. There's got to be something in the pipeline. Something has to be in the works. Whether it's Brian Reynolds, I could still see it. You know, I've spoke about how that could get done a lot of times. Maybe it is quantity over quality. And the Yankees go, we got Luis Heel, we got Clark Schmidt. The good thing is for the Pirates and their fan base, they could say, well, we got two guys that are immediately jumping into our rotation. That's pretty cool. You know, as a Pirates fan, I can sit back and go, I mean, this guy had a really good year at the major league level last year. Yeah, he was a reliever most of the years, but he started a couple of games and he's always been a starter. You know, so Luis Heel was always a starter, never came out the pen. So we have the opportunity to build his innings back up and do that and make him our guy. Then maybe we get a Peraza or a Dominguez or somebody else in that deal too. And you sit back and start looking at it and going, that could make a lot of sense. And the scary thing that you mentioned too is about the Pirates waiting. Well, you also got to hope that Reynolds comes out and smacks the shit out the ball.
Yeah.
Because if he starts the year like he started this last year when he really struggled the first 2 months,
that value
you just low. Yeah. Because look, he's also on record saying, I don't want to be here. Trade me.
Yep.
So now your back is really against the wall. So instead of me personally, I know I'm a Yankee. I get it. But I'm a not biased Yankee fan. I could see the Pirates selling their fan base on why we traded him and what we got in return. If the Yankees are willing to do it. If the Yankees are willing to say, give us a couple of these guys, give us a couple of this, couple of that, that's big. Now we could throw in our team immediately. That's a good looking. If you could get 5 guys and say 3 of them already at the major league level, to me, and they're controlled for years to come. I don't know how you sit back and go, we really lost this deal.
You already got Brian Hayes. The clock has already started on his contract when he's going to be a free agent, right? O'Neal Cruz came up last year. The clock already started when he's going to be a free agent. The time to be competitive or be somewhat competitive for the Pittsburgh Pirates, it's literally right now.
Yeah,
right?
They got an offense.
They have, and people will argue, well, if now is their time to be competitive, why trade Brian Reynolds? I get that argument. I see what you're saying. But at the same time, Brian Reynolds is closer to free agency than those rest of the guys that I just mentioned, right?
And also, too, on top of that, he's going to, like you said, he's going to be costly. And 2, he doesn't want to be there. He's made it public.
When he hits arbitration, he's making $6 million right now. When he hits arbitration, that easily could go up to 10 to 12 million. That literally could just double just going to arbitration, right? And and I'm saying this right now, I'm predicting this right now. Don't be shocked if Trevor Bauer signs with the Pittsburgh Pirates, because this reason and this reason alone. The Dodgers released him, right? He's making 25 or 30 million with the Dodgers, whatever it is. If the Pirates sign him for 1 year at like $8 million, they only have to pay less than $4 million. They pay half of that, and the Dodgers pay the entirety of it. So they can literally sign him for 1 season, see what his value is, and at the trade deadline, dump him for some prospects, 1 or 2 low-level prospects or mid-level prospects.
Yep. And we know how life works, right? Somebody's going to pick him up. You know, somebody's going to pick him up.
And Trevor Bauer is that much of a weirdo that he will go out of his way to sign with the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Colorado Rockies, because that's the type of mind that he has. He's just a weirdo like that. Not in a negative way, but in a way that, you know what, I'm going to just go here and just do what I have to do just because I want to do it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're right. And look, that's a good landing spot. You know what I mean? Teams like that are a good landing spot to go into where, you're not going to get all the media attention. And look, at the end of the day, if you're the Pirates, you'll take the media attention.
Definitely.
I mean, you'll take it. You'll take it. You'll say, hey, we got Bow. Why'd you guys get him? Well, look, whatever about the case, you figure all that stuff out and talk about it briefly, and then you're done. It's a different thing if the Yankees got him or the Mets got him, because now your owner has to talk, your GM has to talk, he has to have a press conference. There's a whole thing that goes along with it.
I laugh and chuckle, right? Before my fault for cutting you up. I laugh and chuckle because it's like the Yankees, they had to roll this Chapman after he beat his fiance, right? Domingo Germán literally was whooping his wife's behind. And this is not making fun of the situation, but he was literally putting hands on his wife in front of the major league execs and Yankee execs.
Yeah, yeah.
So why say
all them were there? They saw it. I mean, you're right.
Why say no to Trevor Bauer? Why say no to Trevor?
Fam, I've said it before. I think I've told you guys this. I'd bring Trevor Bauer in tomorrow if I'm the Yankees. I'm sorry, because look, I get it. But here's the thing, too. Me talking about the dude's talents has nothing to do with me saying it's a good thing what he does off the field or whatever. That's not me giving credit to that.
No.
That's me saying the guy's a ball player. And guess what? At the end of the day, he was found innocent or whatever happened. He wasn't guilty of a charge. So at the end of the day, it is what it is, unfortunately or unfortunately. I would bring him in, but I do believe eventually somebody is going to bring him in. Now, question to the fans in the chat. Let me ask you guys this thing that's rather interesting. And of course, this is just being fun and hype and just throwing some fun stuff out there. The Yankees would have come around and go, look, we're going to bring in Trevor Bauer, but we're going to trade Nestor Cortez for a big player. Is that something you consider doing? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, one thing you know about Bauer is he's a pitcher, always has been. So you don't got to worry about innings with him. He's been throwing. You don't got to worry about that. Now, again, this is a hypothetical, folks, because it's not going to happen. The Yankees
no sources, hypothetical.
Yes, the Yankees aren't touching Bauer. I'm just talking about a fun scenario of the Yankees go, we get a starting pitcher in. You know what I mean? We bring this guy in. He fits that rotation immediately. And we're able to get maybe a Brian Reynolds in that deal like it's nothing. We don't have to give a Volpe and Peraza in that deal.
But maybe.
Yeah. That's it. The more you think about it, you're like, maybe. I don't know.
Let me just do a roll call real quick. Shout out to the chat. I see Michael Caputo is in the building. Caputs, Happy New Year, brother. Hope all is well. Hope you ain't breaking TV for the new year. Captain Sarge is in the building. He says, I don't understand why the Yankees got rid of A-Rod, forcing him to retire. They would go to DFA him for a huge contract, but they won't DFA the troublemaking big mouth such as Donaldson. Yeah, that right there. Yeah, that's a great point, because A-Rod had at least 1 year left at high money on his contract, but the Yankees made him retire in the middle of the season too. That right there was weird to me, because it literally felt like it came out of nowhere. Pete, what was your take on that real quick when it comes to A-Rod?
I remember
announcing retirement.
Don't get me wrong, A-Rod was bad, man. He was bad during that time, but you don't see that often, especially for a legend. You can say what you want about A-Rod, but A-Rod's one of the greatest ball players to ever play baseball.
Yeah.
So you can say whatever you want about him, steroids, this and that. That's a whole nother conversation. But you don't see that happen a lot. And Aaron Hicks is only getting $10 million a pop. So that's the thing I talk to people all the time. I'm like, you guys really don't think that dude is tradable if the Yankees say we'll pay $6 million a year? You get him for $4 million. Come on, stop it. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Oh, he can't be traded. Yes, he can. The Mets just traded McCann. Did they pay most of his deal? Yeah, but again, get the guys off the roster. That's the important part of it. Figure out the rest of the stuff later, but these guys shouldn't be on the roster. It's that simple.
Yeah, Josh Donaldson, he was supposed to be the bad boy of the clubhouse, to be that loosey goosey attitude, but then
Didn't seem like it.
Yeah, according to Tony La Russa, he became like the leader of the Ku Klux Klan and shit like that. But when it comes to Donaldson and Hicks or whatever happens, it's what happens. If Donaldson and Hicks are part of this team, I don't want to say that, but if they are a part of this team for the new year, I mean for the new season, it just gives us content to make for the season. That's all it does for me.
No doubt. And I mean, it's crazy to think in reality, right, that you can go from Aaron Boone having to take Hicks off the field because, in his own words, he didn't think it would have been a good situation for him to stay out there based on the fans and the hostility and all that. So for his mindset and his own sake, get him off the field. To think that guy even has a shot to still be on the club, I don't know how to sit here and not say this is on Yankees ownership on this at this point. This guy just shouldn't be a Yankee. When you look at some of these things and you go, Joey Gallo, when we saw him, he probably stayed longer than he should have. He should have just been let go at that point. Just say, you know what, trade him in the offseason because it's obviously this guy, he can't do this. He can't play here. It's an obvious thing. When you see Aaron Hicks and even Josh Donaldson, you look at them, and even IKF with all the hostility and everything, at some point you sit there and just go, we're better off to move these guys. Move them, get rid of them, move them on, and that's it. So the fact of the matter is that all these guys are still in January 3rd, 2023. They're still on the New York Yankees. I don't know how you don't sit there and go, Brian, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
You have had 3 months or so to figure this out. You ain't figured nothing out yet? They still here? Come on now.
Like if New Haven, Connecticut was around the corner from me, I would drive to where Brian Cashman lives to have a conversation with him, meet him at the coffee shop or meet him at the bodega or the grocery store. Well, they don't got bodegas out there. It's probably just like the pop and stop in the gas station.
I was about to say, I don't think he's getting no bacon, egg, and cheese out there.
He ain't getting no chopped cheese out there, fam. So, but Pete, bro, before we dip out, I just have one more question to ask you, right? If this is the roster that we have going into spring training, how high would your blood pressure be? And two, will you be able to live with this team for 162 games?
Yeah, I mean, I lived through last year, so I lived through years before that. So yeah, I'll be able to live through it, but my blood pressure would be a little high because it would upset me in many ways. And I know fans are gonna immediately go, "Oh, you're being negative, this and that." No, because I'm very, very happy about Carlos Rodon. I give the Yankees an A+. I'm going out there and saying we're gonna get this guy. We're gonna make this move, especially when knowing that, hey, I want to be there. I want to come to the Yankees, and they made it happen. We've heard Machado's wanted to come to the Yankees. Correa's wanted to. Bryce Harper wanted. They didn't do it. So there's many times you hear that you want these guys to come here. My thing is you got to improve this roster, the offense. If you don't improve the offense, I can't sit here and tell you the Yankees are a World Series team. Now, what I will say is this. Should the Yankees win the AL East? Yeah. No doubt about it, the Yankees should win the AL East. Do I have confidence that the Yankees defeat the Houston Astros in the ALCS? No. No.
Yeah.
No, they brought the Astros have done some good things. I think they brought Michael Brantley back, right? He signed back.
Yeah, they brought Michael Brantley back. Jose
Abreu, who's an absolute Yankee killer and always has been. And I don't want to hear, well, they lost what's his face? Verlander. They got a couple of young kids who are top prospects who are right there, and they're probably going to be up this year, along with Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, and all these other guys. You know what I mean? You do all that. I'm still concerned about the Yankees beating that club because they've improved on both sides of the ball. You can make a case and an argument for. The Yankees, on the other hand, they got to improve that offense. And I mean, it comes down to Brian Cashman. It comes down to Brian Cashman making a move, and I'll give him his length. I'll give him his time. We got time left still.
Yeah, we got a few more days left to go. But if Brian Cashman is banking, or if the Yankees front office regime, however you want to put it, if they're banking on the Houston Astros regressing because they lost Verlander and regressing because it's hard to repeat when it comes to repeating for your championship, you're playing the wrong game.
Correct.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be trying to improve your team and be better than the team that you lost to, not wishing and hoping that that team regresses so you could take advantage of that, because you're not going to go anywhere with that mindset. 100%. But guys,
100%.
my man Pete Simonetti from NYY News TV, appreciate you joining for the first episode 2023 Yankees Morning Brew. Pete, any last words for the people before you dip out?
No, man. Not much. Like I said, on NYY News TV, we're gonna have I'll have a little announcement thing somewhere when it comes to games. He's probably on Twitter more than anything else. I have a little something on, of course, on YouTube. But yeah, guys, stay tuned for this year. It's gonna be a major year, working on so many big things, and 2023 is gonna be quite the season. Let's hope that the Yankees do another big move or two to really get us pumped up for the year.
Just one or two, because I don't want Michael Caputo to be in the chat just cursing people out all the goddamn time. But Pete, my guy, appreciate you, brother. See you for the rest of the week. You be safe, my guy.
All right, fam. You too.
Later, baby. Just want to give a quick shout out to the chat before I dip out. Like I said, infamous New King, what it do? Happy New Year, brother. Appreciate you. Blue Gold, baby Blue. I see you in the chat, my man. Fritz Walter as well. Albert Will, I see you. Delano Still Jr. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. This has been another great episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. Till next time, I'm signing off. A peace out. Where's it at? Where's the outro? I'm stuck. Where's the outro? Here it is. Bye. This Thursday, we will have Halal's Hot Takes. It was just another technical issue this morning. Couldn't get Halal Hot Take out there. But this Thursday, we'll start the show off straight with another Halal Hot Take.